Okay, hello beautiful children. What I'm doing right now is going through the Unit 6 Celebration of Learning for your benefit. And what you should do is get your test out and follow along with me. I'm going to be going over just some general questions. This video is going to go over questions 1 through 5. There are multiple forms, so bless you. There are sneezing dogs. There are multiple forms, so if you're seeing me going through a question that you don't have, just wait. I will go over that question later, or you can just follow along, but with your specific numbers, because they're pretty similar questions, but with different numbers. Okay? I'm going to go quickly through this, only because it's a video. You can pause, you can go back, whatever. Okay? Bless you, dog. Stop sneezing. Okay, so for this first page, if you got a lot wrong here, you need to check out 6-2. That's what this lesson was over. The video's posted on that. Look at your notes. Do what you need to do. Okay? So when you look at these questions, what you want to do first is you want to look at the numbers that are given to you, if there are numbers given. If there are numbers given to you, like 8, 20, 24, that means it's going to be possibly one of these sides or sides here and here and here. So since there are no angles at all, by the way, these are not vertical, so don't think they are, I can eliminate AA because I know it can't be any angles. Okay, there are no other angles at all, so it can't be SAS. So really, my answer is either SSS or not enough information, but we have to check. So what you want to do is looking at triangle ABC, you want to find the smallest number in that triangle, which in this case is 8, and that's going to compare to the smallest triangle over here, which is 6. And we're going to write out that ratio, which would simplify to 4/3, and do that all the way around. So 24 divided by 18 is 4/3. This, and lastly, 20 over 15 simplifies to, oh, look at that, 4/3. So because all three sides have the same ratio, we say they are proportional. Therefore, these triangles are similar by SSS. All right? And then the next one, also if you had our different form, so we can skip down here. Okay, that was similar to this question here. So if these were your numbers, which was number 3 instead of number 1, then you set up the ratios. In this case, 8 goes with the 2. That simplifies down to 4. 20 over 5 is 4, and 24 over 6 is also 4. So in this case, also similar, even though they had different ratios than the other question. All of them are the same ratio, so similar by SSS. Okay? All right, let's go back to the other form here. In this question, notice how we don't have any numbers. We don't have any kind of number here for this side or any of those sides. So what that means is I can eliminate SAS and SSS. Okay? Also, I have these angles marked here and here. Now, if that was it, then I would say not enough information. But you see how this triangle is overlapping with this other guy here. If they are overlapping like that, if I were to take out this other triangle, the angle R is going to be the same angle. Yes? See? Wow, technology is magical. So, that means, let me erase all of this, that I have one pair of angles here, because when you separate them out, that's one pair, and another pair here. So that's similar by AA similarity postulate. Cool? Now I'm going to skip down to number 5 here, because it's a lot like the one we just did. So yeah, there's no numbers, so it can't be SAS, can't be SSS, so it's either A or B. Now, I know I have this reflexive property here just like before, but I do not have any angles marked here or here. So, just one angle pair is not enough information. Got it? So not similar or not enough information. Now, if we had another situation like that, except these were parallel, yes, arrows, parallel, then we would mark the reflexive, there's one angle pair, and I could mark corresponding angles here and here. So that would be another pair. So that would be similar by a similarity, but only because of these parallel symbols, okay, which we did not have here and here. Remember, you never want to assume anything is parallel. You know what they say about assuming. All right, back to this question up here, number 3. What we want to do is we want to be very careful with these numbers, okay? We have a bunch of numbers here. You should also immediately see we have vertical angles and mark those angles congruent. So that's possible to have SAS. We know it cannot be SSS because we are missing a third side here, okay? And there are no other angles that I can mark, so I know it cannot be AA. So it's got to be either SAS or not enough information. So in order to determine if they are similar, we look at this smallest side here, right, out of 6 and 5, 5 smaller. That's going to correspond to the smaller side on the other triangle, okay? So when I look at that, oh, right here, 12 is smaller than 15. So you might think that these two correspond, the 5 and the 15, but that is not correct. So 5 corresponds to 12, and that's already simplified, done. Then we look at the next pair, 6, which is the larger of the two, corresponds to 15, which is the larger of those two. That one can simplify. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and it goes into 15 5 times. So 2/5 and 5/12. Are they the same? I think not. Therefore, these are not similar. The answer is A. Okay, I'm going to skip down to this other page, or my different form, another form, where you had a very similar, can't get it, looking triangle, but instead of 6, 15, what was it? It was 6 and 5, and then it was, I believe, 12. It was 15 and 12. So with that, notice how this is 18. Okay, so out of these two numbers, 18 is bigger than 15, right? So in this triangle, that means it's going to correspond to the 6, all right? So you have to be really careful in setting up your corresponding sides. So that simplifies to 1/3. 5 matches with 15, which, oh my goodness, also simplifies to 1/3. And you have your vertical angles here. So we're going to have side, angle, side. SAS is my answer for that question. Okay? Remember, we have different forms because I don't trust you. Okay, for the last question here, first thing you should notice is we have a pair of angles by the reflexive. I already went over that. Okay? And then we have a bunch of sides. So this is either going to be SAS or not enough information. So again, check your ratios. Now, this one's a little different. Technically, you could use the pieces here, but by our definition, I'm going to be using this side with the corresponding side of the larger triangle, okay? If it helps you to redraw the smaller triangle, this is 6 and this is 8. Okay, so let me just move this over here. See that? Now, what is the entire side length for this triangle? It is 6 plus 3, which is 9. And this side, 8 plus 4 is 12. So what we're doing is comparing the entire triangle here with the one that was inside of it. Again, they have their reflexive angle is congruent to itself. Let's go with this color. All right, so the 6 corresponds to the 9, and we simplify that, to 2/3. Then we have this 8 corresponding to the 12. So that's going to simplify, oh my goodness, to 2/3. Since they have the same ratio and we have a reflexive property, that answer is going to be SAS. Okay? Comparing that to my other form, you might have had different numbers. Okay, so if you're like, Ms. Coffee, that's what I put, but I got it wrong. It's because you're not looking carefully. So this question here, which has triangle 6 and 8, same triangle inside, okay? But then the larger triangle has 8 and 2. So that means the whole side length here is 10 instead of 12. And this is still 9. So when I set up those ratios with 6 over 9, that's 2/3. However, 10 and 8 divided by 10, that simplifies to 4 over 5. So they're not the same, right? Not equal. Even though they have this lovely reflexive angle here, we would say not enough or not similar because the ratios are not the same. The sides, therefore, are not proportional. Okay? All right. If you're confused on that still, you can come see me in tutorials, but we're going to end that here for questions 1 through 5.